Hey, what's up guys and gals? This is my review of DC Direct Blackest Night Series 1 Red Lantern Atrocitus. And I originally was not planning on picking up this figure. In fact, I know little about the actual character, and that's not surprising since I don't keep up with the Green Lantern comic, but I do know what I like in a figure, and this was really a figure that caught my eye as soon as I saw it. So as you can see here, it's got a fantastically detailed head sculpt, really nice, and you can see it has this red metallic paint, which is nice here in the back, on the front of the chest, as well as on the forearm and the legs. So really nice, and it really makes a nice contrast with the black. And the other thing about this figure I like is it's a tall figure. I'll do a little size comparison later in the review, but it's a tall figure. It's got really nice, muscle definition, especially on the upper torso here, and it's a really cool looking figure. And as far as articulation goes, well, it's a DC Direct figure, so it's going to be limited. You've got movement at the head. You can kind of get the head to go up just a tad, like that. Now, the shoulders themselves are a simple swivel shoulder, and even if it was a ball hinge shoulder, this plastic here for the shoulder armor is very stiff. It's not going to be, you're not going to be able to move at all, even if you had a hinge. So, moving on, there's no bicep articulation. You have articulation at the elbow here, as you can see, just a single joint, and there appears to be no wrist articulation. If there is, it's extremely stiff, and I don't want to risk breaking it, but I doubt there is. There's also no ab articulation, no waist articulation, and the leg articulation that you get is limited because you really can only go forward like that. You can't go out because this is not the type of joint that allows the leg to go out to the side. And then last point of articulation, you got this articulation at the knee. And as you can see, there is no ankle articulation. Now, as far as accessories, you get this nice red lantern, which is, as you can see, it's has that same red metallic paint. A really nice paint. I like that color, like a cherry red. So he's got that. He can actually hold it in his hand, reasonably well. It just kind of dangles there, and sometimes you have to work at getting it to, stay in there. But it does, stay in there, as you can see. It'll fall out pretty easily, but nonetheless, there you go. And then you got this nice base here with a peg right there. Cool. Okay, so let's take a look at some size comparisons next to some DC Universe Classics figures I have in my collection. Here is Kyle Rayner. You can see, let's take a look at him next to Deathstroke as well. And you can see here that the Atrocitus figure is obviously taller, but he also has a bigger upper torso, I think. So, a combination of height and girth, it really makes this a figure that stands out in your DC figure collection. And take a look at him next to MASH here. Kind of a standard DC Universe Classics body, you can see there. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice figure. It's a nice size. And like I said, the only thing that would be a problem would be articulation. You can't really get this guy into any dynamic poses because of the limited articulation. Okay, so final thoughts, final recommendations. Should you get this figure? Well, I would only get it if you're like a mint in package collector, because that's what I suggest you do. I suggest you leave it in the packaging, and that way it doesn't collect dust. And besides, due to the limited articulation, you're not going to get this guy in a lot of poses that are going to look really good. So he might as well be in his package, nicely secured behind this clear plastic bubble here. You can hang it on the wall somewhere, and it would look really cool. So, you know, basically it all comes down to whether you think the figure looks cool. You know, in my opinion, I think it looks really cool. I wished it had more articulation, but you know, what can you do? I got this at my local comic book shop for, let's see, I think it was $16.99. Was that it? Yep, $16.99 there. So your standard price for a, you know, DC figure. All right, well, thanks for watching. This has been my review of DC Direct Blackest Night Series 1 Red Lantern Atrocitus.